Hey, welcome to New Jump City, everybody, where we recap the week in American and Japanese sequential art. I am your host, Christian, the unbiased K. And joining me through StreamYards, I almost said Discord again. I almost got caught. Is the man, the myth, the legend, the tank top sage in a white tee. It's Joshua Gangsta Time Cole.
Well, it's called Partner, but it should be called Gangsta Time.
What up, Chris? What's good, everybody listening?
Hey. Also joining us, it is our producer, Edgelord, the big news, Brian.
なんというビッグニュース
Sup, nerds?
Hey.
I just lost my chess game.
All right.
No!
Damn.
I ran out on time.
Yeah. Big news. Brian is addicted to chess. But we're here to talk about manga, fresh off of Brian's chess loss. He'll redeem it. If you want to hear more of Brian's chess stories, we got a pre-show chat show later.
And I think if you say that word one more time, you will summon Brian to another game.
The word. Oh, I almost said it. Very excited to do this show today. I have no updates for my tier list because I'm still reading. I'm still struggling to read his exercise. I guess I really don't like the series.
Yeah, you gotta toss it into F.
I don't think it's an F, but it might climb down to the bottom of my D tier. I really find it kind of boring, but I am still early on. I'm still too early. Am I too hard on it? I don't know. New A Exorcist fans chime in. I'm like 80 chapters in. Is it peak later? You let me know. But until then, that's all I got. Do you guys have any updates on anything you're reading or anything like that?
I already talked about it a little bit on the pre-chat show, but I've been reading Ichi the Witch.
Oh, yeah.
Fun, cute-ass fucking series, man.
Yeah, we're going to be starting covering it next week. I also had to do a little bit of rereading just to make sure that for the recap, I got my facts straight.
You know what I'm going to say? It kind of does fill a little bit of the void that Black Clover is leaving for me.
A little bit. I can see that.
It's a very...
It's a fantasy series, very optimistic.
Yeah.
And it's very cute. It's very cutesy. It's very... the art is actually pretty fucking good. Like, you would think, like, in its standard state, it's like a very, cute little art style. But when there's action, the art is actually so fucking good. Mm-hmm. Which is very similar to the way that Tabata's the one that wrote Black Clover, right?
That's right.
It's very Tabata style, very simplistic and very straightforward, regular art when there's not a lot of action. But when the action starts, he pulls out all fucking stops. Mm-hmm. So this is a great series. I like it a lot.
Hell yeah. Remember, next week. We got this next week. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not reading anything else, actually. It's just that. So, yeah, I suppose we could get into the main show. You guys ready for that?
Oh, yep. Yeah.
Then let's get into it, boys. Let me find this drop. Okay. One Piece. This is One Piece chapter 1184. We're all bones when we die. Last we left off, we started getting into Brook's origins in his time as the captain of the battle convoy of his home country, where he used to be kind of a mentor to Gunko, who back then was known as Shuri. And we are opening with that. It's been a few years since the last chapter ended. It has been 7 years, actually, from that. Shuri is now 14, and she is a bit of a master of the sword. She has had 5 princes from nearby kingdom ask for her hands in marriage, and she has defeated all of them. So, she's and she doesn't like men who are weak and can't play music, which is the complete opposite of what Brook is. So, they're just walking down the street. It's a little bit of a recreation from the panel before where they're walking and holding hands and, you know, being like adorable, I guess. And they're sitting on by the garden and they're singing their song and they're being Shuri and Brooke and Shuri brings up the fact that she loves Brooke's songs and she's like, your father said the same thing. And Brooke says that, yeah, His Majesty said the same thing. And Shuri asks, is like, wow, you really love Papa, don't you? And Mama, of course. And Brooke explains that, yes, I owe him everything. If I hadn't met your father, I'd be nothing but bones by now. And we get a flashback within a flashback. Flashbackception. We're cutting into Brooke's childhood. He is 11, and, you know, he's just a little poor kid, looking through the windows at kids learning how to play music, and he is just too poor to get in and learn music in the land of music, mind you. Brooke lives in a trash dump at this age of his life, where he has cobbled together his own violin and is playing his music, and it sounds horrible because it is a violin made from garbage by a child, so it doesn't sound great. But for whatever reason, it attracts a young King Reuven, who was a prince at this time. He's 21, and he's there hanging out with Brooke, and Brooke offers to cook him a meal as a sign of friendship, and it's this frog and grasshopper soup he made, using ingredients that he found all around the dump, and also in his Brian's temporarily gone. He found it all in like the garbage dump, as well as some curry powder that he steals from Navy ships. Reuven looks down at it and he remembers all of the like high class dishes that he's eaten over the years, and he's looking back at this, and he is obviously apprehensive. But he takes a bite of it anyway, and it is terrible. As Brooke is saying, like, so good it makes you shiver, huh? I'm glad you like it. Hang on, bro, I'll sing you a song now. And Reuven is struggling right now because it's obviously awful. And he's like, what? You want to pay me? Don't worry, bro. We got our troubles, don't we? And, we get little flashes of them in their friendship. But at one time, Brooke is apprehended by the Marines, and he is being beat up by grown adults at a port and being accused of hiding the powder that the gangsters told him to carry. And he's accused of stealing this smuggled goods that the Marines are getting. But Brooke is insisting that they got the wrong guy. As Brooke refuses to talk, the Marines opt to just kill him because he's seen their faces. And as Brooke is singing his final song, Reuven and Candela come in and save the day. They rescue Brooke. They defeat the Marines after it's confirmed that they actually did get the wrong guy. Candela and Reuven save Brooke, defeat the Marines, and they bring Brooke to the Asperia Palace, where he wakes up, and he realizes that Reuven is indeed the Prince of Asperia, and Reuven apologizes. He said, I wasn't trying to hide it, but I was having too much fun hanging out, and I didn't want to ruin the good times.
The good times in the slums with you while you was eating frogs.
While you were being homeless.
I love my life. It's okay.
But Reuven makes up for it a little bit, where he immediately turns to Candela and commands that Brooke is his favorite musician, and orders his people to give him a room in the barracks and some real instruments to play so he can attend and make it so he can attend school because we got a new star in Hesperia. So Brook has found his home in the kingdom of Hesperia, and that is how he has come to work there as a soldier in the army. And that's where the chapter ends, actually. So, wowee. Josh, what did you think about One Piece chapter 1184?
Brook's upbringing is, I don't know why it reminds me of Frankie's a little bit. I guess because Frankie used to like play in like the trash heaps and build like ships and shit.
Luffy too.
So he was kind of like when he was out in like the garbage heaps and shit. Like, you know, it shows that Brook didn't just come from nobility or anything like that. He was just a kid in the streets, an orphan, as far as we know. So I guess that's interesting. Adds a little character to who Brook is, and probably why he's such a humble, low-key guy, aside from the streaks of pervertedness. But we're not gonna focus on that slander.
Don't worry about that.
Yeah. What more is there to say? I think I don't know. I just wonder what the catalyst for them joining them ended up going to like to Marawa, probably for a reverie, right?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
Because they're not celestial dragons. Sure, he's not a celestial dragon yet, so.
Yeah, well, I understand why he looks up to these people so much now. I don't have much more to say, if I'm being honest. Brian, what were your thoughts?
All right. So there's actually quite a lot that's been spoken on the streets about this chapter. So people are saying that Prince Reuven is related to Rocks in some way, or related to the Zebek clan.
I brought that up last time,
or the Davy clan, purely because of like, you know, he looks very similar to him. Even his silhouette looks very similar to Rox's silhouette prior to his reveal. The nose and the eyes are very similar in a way.
There's a particular panel where I really thought he looked a lot like Rox in on page 6, where he first like appears and he's like, "These lyrics are terrible."
Page 6.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. He's a strong combatant and stuff like that too. So it just, I don't know, feels like, especially when he's in his 30s, he looks a lot like a combination of Rox and Blackbeard.
Damn, I want to say something too.
Sure, go ahead.
No, just that maybe I'm bugging, but Brook as a child kind of looks like Teach did as a kid.
He does a little bit,
It's in the face, in the hair.
I think the craziest thing
Maybe
I
that's
actually
Oda's limitations as an artist.
No, the craziest thing I did hear, I only seen it once floating on the internet, is like, is Brook a Davy?
Right.
At least he has some lineage, because this is an ancient clan, so theoretically there could be people that just have a distant lineage, and I think that's the case being made for Reuven at the very least. Sorry to hijack it, Brian, because I was
same.
I was thinking about it too, and I was like thinking about the timing of it as well, and something that Rock said a long time ago when he went to visit Emu, saying that he would be back, and I'm wondering if he was implying that Rocks used to be royalty, as like maybe a brother to Reuven, either older or younger, and that he would be back in some way, shape, or form. I don't know. I don't think so. I don't believe this theory really. I think it's a possibility. I would say I wouldn't put a wrong burgundy bet on it, let's say. But I think the similarities are very striking. I think the only difference is the butt chin. But then again, Rocks and Blackbeard always have a beard, so we don't know what their chins actually look like. So,
I guess.
but yeah, I think the nose is very telling. I think that's
The
intentional.
nose and the eyes and the hair.
Yeah, the hair also. Although, like Oda has said that Reuven is more based on Beethoven, his design. But I think that also is like a little bit of a cover up of just like his hair looks almost exactly like, is styled almost exactly like Rox's.
And to add to these theories, there's also a theory that Candela or Candel is a undercover god's knight.
Yeah, so I've heard.
That she's an undercover god's knight, and there's also stuff that ties her to Hawkeye as well.
Hawkeye.
What?
Yeah.
Like what?
First of all, he does look like Beethoven. He absolutely looks like him.
Okay, so go to page, oh my god, 12. This stupid shit.
This last page? I
No,
can't
the
believe-
page where
Oh, the
where
second
they
last.
do Kendall's
yeah.
like introduction.
Yeah,
on
yeah.
Page 12.
This was only 13 pages.
Short
It
chapter.
was good, Oda. It was good, bro.
So you see the icons that are like by her legs and stuff. Those have only been used for one other character, and that's
No
Mihawk.
way.
I swear to God,
That's crazy.
they have only been used for Mihawk. That's the only time they've ever been used. This is from the streets.
The streets are
Credi-
cooking.
Yeah, but these are credible sources.
I believe the streets. I would never discount the streets. I think.
Every time Mihawk is introduced in some way, it's with those characters, with those icons.
Yeah, Oda does
those
like
stylized icons.
Well, that's the thing is that Oda is very intentional in designs and in his design choices. That's why it's hard to overlook the nose and the eyes and the hair of Reuven, because I think he indicates a lot in his designs, a lot of familial resemblance. The only exception is Luffy and Dragon, but Luffy has been said to look like Tritoma, so you know, it's tough. But yeah, Brian, I want to let you finish your
No,
thoughts.
it's fine. There's a few. There's like those are the two major theories. And I have one more myself that I really care about the most. And well, maybe it's not my own theory. I've probably watched a few, and then it's just like this is what kind of came to mind. But I think the reason why Brooke is like overtly being like a skeeve and stuff like that, and asking to see women's panties, is to try to scare Shuri off from like being into him because he's a grown ass man and she's a fucking kid.
Yeah,
So he tries to make himself like gross, or like around her and stuff.
yeah. I don't think they would create a ship between Brooks and Shuri. I don't think that would be built.
No, they like Oda makes it clear that Brooke is like,
Not in turn.
yeah, not into his.
Thank
and
God.
stuff like that. He's always
Thank
shutting her down and
Christ.
stuff.
Please keep that going, Oda. Keep her as like a sister figure, a little sister. For the love of God.
But I don't know. It's I have no idea where the fuck this is gonna go, and I just hope that it's probably not gonna end well for
Oh yeah, he's going down. He's dead.
It's so sad because he's such a cool guy.
Well, here's the deal. The reason we already know it goes terribly for Reuven because Asperia doesn't exist anymore. So that shit got Buster called at some point. It got Buster called, or it got Uranus. Not my anus. Definitely not my anus. Yours.
But yeah, that's those are my thoughts. Pretty surprisingly pretty info packed chapter for what little there was. But I don't know. I kind of am enjoying this flashback a lot more than I thought I would. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it be going.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. I like flashbacks. I feel like people have a lot of like flashback fatigue, and I don't really blame them at all. I think it's just like a consequence of One Piece being so long and Oda needing to like kind of wrap it up at some point because he is getting older. He's like 54 or so. He can't possibly do this for much longer. So it is what it is. We've said this before. I don't mind it. I like shit like this. I think part of the appeal for me in One Piece is just like learning about the world. The world is so like rich and full that I just love the history of it in a sense. And especially with Brook, whenever Straw Hats have like a double backstory, it's always really cool. Especially someone like Brook, which makes sense because he's 90. So his life didn't start with the Rumbar Pirates. He was like 40 when he was with them. So it's cool to dive back and see what Brook was before even all that. Because before all we had was a picture of Brook as a kid that Oda illustrated one time where he was just like a little dirty kid with his violin.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's always cool to see.
That was a while ago.
Yeah, it's always cool to see like Oda in the volumes always draws like a lot of characters as children. And obviously we're not going to get to see all of them, but it is cool to see, the little like what's it called? The little breadcrumbs, and then you actually get to see the full picture of it. And I appreciate that when that happens.
One of the earliest breadcrumbs was when they showed the warlords as children, and we ended up actually being able to see Kuma and Blackbeard.
Yeah,
Probably missed a few others. I think we also seen Boa when she was a kid, when she was escaping from what's it called, Marwa.
Yeah, Hancock. Yeah, we've seen. We've seen Jinbei as not Jinbei. We actually have seen Jinbei as a kid.
Yeah, we've seen Jinbei as a kid. Yeah.
But yeah, we've seen Kuma and Mihawk as a kid. We've seen as well.
Technically, as the PX11, what's it called?
No. Oda drew him a long time ago. In the volumes, he draws a lot of characters as children. He drew Moria. He drew Kid. He drew.
But I'm saying Hawkeye comes. Technically, his child version does appear in the series later because of the pacifistas.
For sure. I think like what I mean to say is that when we see that, it gives credence to what Brian said about Mihawk being kind of maybe not specifically attached to Kendall, maybe, but there is like indications of nobility in Mihawk in Oda's design of him as a kid,
Really?
separate from the seraphim of him.
Really?
Yeah, let me pull up Mihawk as a kid. Let me see if I can find it.
I mean, he does spend his time in a castle.
Yeah. God damn it. The fucking ad blocker. Continue supporting. You're not gonna guilt me. I mean, I guess not. I could buy either way. He looks kind of. It looks like he could kind of go either way. I'm gonna pull it up real fast. This is Mihawk as a kid.
You see nobility?
That's what I think. Like when I saw it, like the black and white drawing.
Was it the shoes?
Not the shoes. I think it looked a little more dignified in the manga version of it. But that's neither here nor there. He's also been training. This is his training clothes. I don't know. Maybe I was bugging. Maybe I was wrong. Until we find out that he was nobility all along.
He has a demeanor of like a royal.
Yeah.
Whatever that's worth.
Yeah. He has the grooming.
A humble royal.
Yeah.
Oda's favorite.
A humble royal. Okay. Well, that's all I got to say about One Piece this week. was a great chapter. I really enjoyed it. I'm excited to see what's next. Although it is going to be off this coming week, so
Of course.
obviously can't have too much of a good thing, right, Oda? But yeah, I'm ready to move on. Ready to go, guys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's go.
I don't really have to fucking care who's in my way. I'm gonna fucking kill everybody.
Sakamoto Days. This is Sakamoto Days, chapter 261, Wild Card. Last we left off with Sakamoto Days, Shin and the Mr. Music Man, whose name is Tanabata. I'm trying to remember that name because I'm doing a character disservice by simply calling him Mr. Music Man. Tanabata. So we are opening with some side characters, Boiled and Mr. Teacher Man. I'm not going to remember his name. Are out just fighting civilians or like lower JAA members alongside Heisuke and the sniper guy. We also see Nagumo is patching himself up from his battle, so he is alive. And he's hearing the noise that is coming from Tanabata when Shishiba pulls up. And he's like, oh my God, we're both alive somehow. And yeah, he's like, the order's pretty much done. And it's like, wait, that's not true. Me, you, Osuragi, Kamihate, Yotsumura. And Nagumo is like, oh, right. Kendaka also woke up. So
He's mad at us.
Actually, actually, we're good. Never mind. And Nagumo asks if Tanabata is tough. Shishiba says he's an unknown quantity. But one time, Mr. Oki said he said that if we're anticipating a battle with X, we need to be prepared for every attack. Magnetism, electricity, fire, hypnosis. We need a wild card who can counter any weapon, any skill. And that guy was Tanabata because his attacks work on any human. And Shishiba's like, whatever. If it comes down to it, I could take care of Tanabata. But Nagumo's like, hey, no, I mean, may not have to worry about it. We have one too. A wild card Mr. Oki didn't anticipate. And we cut back to said wild card.
Say it again.
A wild card that Mr. Oki didn't anticipate? So we cut back to Shin fighting against Tanabata and his big sound wave shield thing. And Shin is like, damn, right in the middle of the city. This guy's heartless. And then Shin jumps into a moving car, I guess. He breaks the window, turns the ignition on, sends the car flying, jumps out of the car as it's driving, and Tanabata just cuts it in half with his guitar. He explains that sound and air are vibration. Change the chord and you could create any shape. And he's like, you probably can't hear it. Stabbing, slashing, smashing. They all sound different. By reproducing the exact sound, I can produce the phenomenon itself. And he demonstrates this by attacking Shin with a sound wave, and it gives him like a big, I guess, like melee hit.
This shit does not check out, by the way.
Oh, this is not. We
already confirmed this last week.
This is definitely not any. Has no
bullshit.
It has no founding in any science.
This is not tethered to reality.
Yeah,
no.
No. At least you can kind of, sort of, maybe kind of, sort of argue about tunnel effect. Not this.
I mean,
no.
The way I see it, we're what's that fancy word they have for fantasy series? Not isekai. There's something else.
It's not isekai.
That's what this is turning into. Pure fantasy.
Yeah. No, we're stepping into the realm of legit superpowers. But then again, Shin, we've always had that, I guess. Shin can read minds and mind control people and all that stuff. Anyway.
He was made in a lab.
Yeah, he was made in a lab. So yeah, Shin is getting his ass beat a little, and then he starts to think to himself, what would Sakamoto do? And then he stops. He's like, no, wrong question. Mr. Sakamoto and I have different abilities. I should be thinking about how I would take him out. And he peeps the chord that Tanabata is about to play, and he realizes it's going to be a slashing attack, so he dodges it, and he goes over to do a mad dash towards Tanabata. Tanabata thinks to himself that, oh man, he's anticipating my sounds with his clairvoyance nonsense. But, so what? Even if he can't see a fraction of a second into the future, he can't escape my attack range. And that's when he manages to actually get up to Tanabata and hold the neck of the guitar. Tanabata does a strum, and it blows off the sleeve of Shin's shirt and damages his arm a little. But it works mostly because he was able to mute the sound of his guitar by holding the strings. And Shin does a counterattack, sending him flying with a kick. And Tanabata is about to attack, but I guess his fingers slip on the guitar because of Shin's blood on it, and he's like, that's why he grabbed it. And so Tanabata just turns his guitar into a gun and shoots it. And Shin manages to dodge the bullet because he can see the future, and he rushes Tanabata again and punches the living shit out of him. He's like, if I could take you down, I'll be on par with the Order. And that is where the chapter ends. Josh, what did you think about Sakamoto Days, chapter 261?
I really like this chapter. Hella impressed with Shin.
Let's go.
I think that Shin is slowly forming into the GOAT of this series. I mean, Sakamoto's that guy, but Shin, I mean, he's figuring out what you're gonna do a couple seconds before, and he's figuring that shit out fast, like how to counter it. This guy's a tough cookie, bro. They put this nigga in death battle. He's smoking somebody of equal, unless he goes against like Jean Grey or something. You know what I mean?
Oh man,
an Omega level telepath or some bullshit. But
did you see the death battle recently? I don't know why. I wanted to talk about it.
I did not watch it yet.
Okay, cool. I wanted to bring it up. This is the first time. All right.
Really?
Next pre-show, we'll talk about it.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, I'm excited. You're actually into it. Okay.
Yeah.
But I could care less if anything about rooks, bishops. And I ain't gonna say a third. I'm not gonna say a third related turn because that's what will activate the sleeper agent. It'll activate the Elo demon.
Yeah, the Elo demon.
I wish I knew the words by heart to activate the Winter Soldier. I wish I could say it off the top of my head.
Me too. I don't remember it. I think it's random. It's too random. Sleeper cell lingo.
Anyway. Yeah. Dope. I mean, dope fucking strategy. Shin neutralized his weapon, realized like this whole thing is carrying you straight up. You know what I mean? You're not really about nothing. Neutralize your situation, dodge your cheap trick. He does that again. Like that's what when he turning his guitar into a gun. There's been like 80 other assassins that did some silly shit like that. Like you Tanabata?
Yeah, it's Tanabata.
Listen, man, this guy's looking like a chump. He's getting exposed right now. And not that Shin is like, lame or nothing, but man, get your ass whooped. All right. Brian, what are your thoughts? He is still.
He's Brian?
Oh, heading into something.
All right. Well, I will take over. I like this chapter a lot. Obviously, there's unfinished pages, but what am I gonna do? Harp on it. It happens sometimes, and it honestly works for Sakamoto Days. So, but great chapter overall. Shin is doing really well. Just using his head, fighting differently than Sakamoto. Finding his own way, And I think that's like a great move towards character development, you know, starting off as like kind of the apprentice and just like becoming his own guy. Gotta respect it. I'm enjoying this chapter a lot. This fight is very cool. That's really all I gotta say about Sakamoto Days. I don't have much else. Brian, are you back? Brian is not back. All right. Well, I guess we'll
Sorry,
get...
my landlord was at my door. Sorry.
All good. What were your thoughts about Sakamoto Days?
I'd say this chapter finally typified Shin's whole story, right? Because throughout the entirety of his story, you could see that he was always trying to be like Sakamoto or trying to do things like Sakamoto. Like if you watch the way Sakamoto fights and the way that Shin fights, they're actually very similar, and that's by design because Shin, you know, looks up to Sakamoto and he feels like that's the pinnacle of fighting. So if he's gonna fight like somebody, it's gonna be like Sakamoto, right? Yeah. But every time Shin won a fight, it was in his own unique way. Mm-hmm. And it took him until now to realize, oh wait, I've always been different from Sakamoto. I've always been like my own man, and I've always, even if like we're similar, even if he inspires me, that doesn't mean I have to be a one-to-one copy of him. And it's great to see him finally kind of develop an individual, like, you know, some individualism, and for him to finally find like a foot place for himself in all this, and to truly lean into what makes him strong as to opposed of what makes Sakamoto strong. Because for the most part, it was like, even if he found success following Sakamoto's model, it was kind of trying to fit a square shape into a circle hole. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't a perfect fit, and he always had struggles trying to emulate that. Mm-hmm. But every time he accepted who he was, and in a way, it's like him idolizing and looking up to Sakamoto is what held him back at times. Because he truly has something incredibly special and so powerful. And if he were to really lean into that and really trust himself and trust the powers that he brings to the table, he would be even stronger than Sakamoto in some ways. So I don't know. This was a pretty cool development chapter for Shin.
Agreed.
Those are my thoughts.
Hell yeah. Well, with that,
I would argue and say it's a prove it chapter. My bad.
No, yeah,
like,
no,
almost
please.
Like no, like I mean, you're not. I don't think you're wrong by saying that, but for me, it feels more like he's proven all the development he's went through already. Mm-hmm. That's culminated to this, like making a character like this that seemed impossible to defeat into fucking light work.
Yeah,
because shit is like that.
Shit is like that. Right. Hell yeah.
Go for it.
Well, that's all I got. I suppose we could move on, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. All right. I'm looking for the right drop to move on from. Yeah. Oh, there it is.
I hope he turns his sword into some guns.
Kagurabachi. And with that, I'm going to pass this one over to Josh.
Thanks, Chris. This is Kagurabachi, chapter number 123. The title comes in later, but I have my own title for this, which is called Red Flags and White Flags.
All right. I can't wait to see.
Yeah, so last week we heard the conditions of the Mikaboshi people who emerged from the sea to exact their revenge on the Soviet clan and by extension Japan. For the most part, their essential form of government. This is on the heels of the Japanese government sending their 4 best warriors possible, and they got shamoot.
Yeah.
3 of them was packed out, and one of them changed as a person forever.
Yeah.
Rough stuff. So, yeah. So this week they're trying to figure out a plan because
It's not looking
great. It ain't looking great at all. So so it's the meeting of experts regarding the Enchanted Blade plan. So they're going over basically what was brought forth by Subaru.
Yep.
By Subaru, advocating for Rokuhira to be able to experiment and figure out if they can actually wield the power of the Danseki and put it into a blade. And a lot of people disagree here really hard. I guess to put it like super brief, tons of back and forth. They don't trust the fact that Rokuhira has no credentials to fucking speak of, and the fact that the Danseki is so dangerous to work with. I mean, they bring up, aside from its other volatile features, the biggest issue is that if you want to try to forge it into a katana, you can't get it that hot without it blowing up. And it's not just a normal explosion. The Danseki reacts with the flames and makes it like 10. What did they say? Like 10 times the power. It just says it amplifies the fire and triggers an explosion of unfathomable magnitude. That has to be over 100 times.
Yeah, at least.
That's what I'm drawing.
That's the bare minimum.
Okay, there we go. I needed to put a number to that, or I was going to lose my fucking mind.
Yeah. So,
this guy says, no matter how we run the math, people will die. Yeah, sounds like it. So like I said, they are super. They're doubting this kid. They don't want to go along with it. And then they start talking about the Flamebone carrion clan. Their name is the Kagari clan. And in the last chapter, they was talking about how they're going to reach out to the clan, but that there wasn't like a user for the last like 400 years or some wild shit like that. 400 years. But apparently they're having a child that is going to be able to wield the flame, and it was confirmed because the mom of the child got burns in her womb. Is that what they're saying? She seemed so chill about it too.
She said the wife of the patriarch, apparently she suffered burns to her stomach during pregnancy. Normally, it's impossible for a member of the Kagari clan to sustain burns based on their physical makeup.
I see, because that's how strong. Okay, it's not a matter of like this is crazy that's happening to a pregnant woman. It's that they've all had these fire powers probably, and this baby is so strong with the firepower, it's going through their resistance.
Yeah,
got it.
Basically, yes.
Got it. Thanks. And that's Hiyuki, which we know Hiyuki.
We do know Hiyuki. She is the current wielder of the Flamebone. She's pretty cool. She is pretty sick.
And was not ready for Akamira Soga. I'll tell you that. They bigging up this Flamebone shit. But this is what gets wild. They're talking about, okay, in 6 months they're going to give birth. And then 3 months after birth, they can begin test runs, after which various fine-tuning will be required so that Flamebone can be wielded a year from now. I guess we can talk about it later. I just want to bring attention to that. Because they are talking about a 3-month-old infant wielding this power.
I was also confused.
That is I want to make sure we're all in the same.
I was also like, what?
Here, right? Like everybody. It's crystal clear.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so.
I'm moving forward. Okay. Brian didn't say anything, but I believe he is. I trust he is. He's got OG Anobi's symbol for his character, so he's definitely reliable and clutch and will understand when the time is right.
Yeah,
So,
one year Hiyuki to fight these fucking bug people.
what's crazy is that everybody else that was like saying, nah, we can't let Rokuhiro like run a test with the Dat and Seki.
But we can
all of
trust
them
this
start
baby.
glazing. They all start glazing this shit. They're like, yes, okay, if we just wait a year,
This baby can save us all.
there's got to be something I'm missing. Maybe they're gonna just use the baby as like an outlet to summon the full.
Yeah, I think that's maybe what it is. I can't imagine that they expect this baby to fight consciously.
There's no way.
They said that there's fine tuning
I was
involved.
just talking about it later. Like,
Yeah, they said there's fine tuning and and testing involved. So maybe they're using her as a conduit to use the flame bone. I can't imagine that they actually mean they want this baby to fight. But that would be hilarious. And I hope they do mean that in a way.
well, there's a whole nother chunk to this chapter because we leave. They plan on going through with the flame bone strategy as opposed to the enchanted blade strategy, and we cut over to that's the name of the chapter, Chiaki. Missed that. This is chapter 1, 2, 3. That's a huge.
It's 1, 2, 3.
benchmark, in my opinion. So they're asking this girl Chiaki to fold some clothes, and she's like, "All right." And we get some narration talk, I believe, from Chiaki, talking about the previous princess that held the clairvoyant power, and that she was super duper cool, like a big sis, and then she died. Super unfortunate for Chiaki. I feel for her. But that was the day she was made super duper important because the ability happened to pass down to her, even though she was from a lesser Soga clan and not the pure blue-blooded core clan or whatever.
Yep.
Clan politics.
Yeah.
Like in Dandadan.
Yeah, like in
We'll get to that
Naruto.
later. Oh, that too. Okay, so but so she starts saying how like she's like she says she never seen her mother so frantic, and it was the last time she touched Kunishige. Okay, which is Rokuhiro. That's Chihiro's dad.
Yes.
As he's carrying her, at some unspecified time, showing that they had a nice little bond. Apparently, Chiaki, Kunishige, Shiba, and the coin guy, Su. What's his name?
So
I'm not gonna say so. Okay, and so like the four of them used to all hang out. The three of the boys were like troublemakers. They was wilding. But they kept telling the girl that she couldn't play with the boys because she's of nobility. But especially when she got the power, they definitely like said she couldn't hang out with like none of these niggas no more. And of course, it sucked for her, but she would still find ways to communicate with the guys, especially Kunishige, who she had special interest for. Aww.
big boy crush.
Very cute. So, yeah, they sending letters back and forth to each other. But one day she got caught because her fucking assistant snitched on her. Boo!
Boo.
We don't like rats. My cats don't hang when rats around. Tom and Jerry. That's my favorite line. So yeah, she got caught up and she got a nice scolding, and they found her whole fucking stash of envelopes too and started burning them. Boo.
Boo.
She was fucking miserable. Then she has a vision seeing what happened in that the talks, the Hiroshima talks. I forget what they was called.
I think it was the Hiroshima talks.
The Hiroshima, yeah. She has a vision of her boys getting massacred, and she ends up hearing the conditions of like the aftermath of what happened and what conditions the Mikaboshi had, and basically more or less she decided to agree to those terms. So there was a term created that if they sent the princess over for a year, they would promise a ceasefire. And the Japanese government is willing to do that to help buy them time so that they can get the flame bone and then also possibly make some progress with the Enchanted Blade plan. Although it was rejected by the people. And so, yeah, they formally agreed to surrender Princess Chiaki Soga. Nick, a couple of these guys is pissed, especially senior
Masumi, man.
Yeah, Masumi, man. They said there's like a conditional truce for 1 year, which was, of course, convenient because in that time, that's when they would give birth to the child. They start having some back and forth about like, if their child would actually have passed down that clairvoyant ability because they're from like an offshoot family. And it's only apparently one of the guys thinks it only happened once, but Senior Masumi implies that it probably happened a handful of times. We just never heard of it.
So there's one thing they mentioned that there's like a new Soga baby that may get the powers while Chiaki is gone.
Right. Which would save them in that predicament, I guess. But that's if they're not even suspecting that. But I'll save those thoughts for later. So, yeah, they agreed. They agreed to the situation, and that really inspires Kunishige Rukihira to get to work on creating these enchanted blades, and that's the end of the chapter. White flags from the government, red flags for Kunishige. You get it?
Yeah.
That's the end of the chapter.
Oh, Brian, what are your thoughts?
Did I not imply that? Yeah. Brian, what are your thoughts?
RGC.
Oh, yeah, I guess. Same for me as well. What about you, Josh?
No, actually, sorry.
Wow.
Certified RGC. Certified RGC. Certified RGC.
So I really like what they're doing with this. Well, I don't like the situation, obviously, but
yeah, the situation is ass.
That's nice.
Yeah, the situation's fucked up. But I like that it's not as simple as, oh, we can make the enchanted blades. Let's just fucking do it. I don't know. I kind of like that there's some, because there's always been some bureaucracy when it comes to with sorcery and the enchanted blades and all that. I can't imagine that even in its inception that it was never this easy to get it done. So I kind of like the idea that Kunishige is going to be somebody who takes matters into their own hands, like Chihiro would. Like just be like, you know what? Fuck y'all. Fuck what you guys have to say. I'm just going to make them, and I'm going to be the guy who chooses them. And once they actually do the things that they're supposed to do, then you're going to be on my side. Like he's much like Chihiro. He's like better to ask for forgiveness than to be sorry, I guess, in a way. So I don't know. I really like this the way that this arc is kind of building up Kunishige's decision to make the enchanted blades, because in the previous chapter you see the pain that it caused Shiba, and now in this chapter again you see the pain that it's causing his, like, you know, what's the princess's name?
Chiaki.
Chiaki.
Now you see the pain that it's causing her as well. So it's just like you can start to see the decision, like what led to Kunishige becoming the man that he is today, and what led him to become the person that builds these swords in the first place. But this also could end up leading to the resentment he has towards the swords as well, because this in of itself could lead to the initial, like, innate what's the word, like the misunderstanding of the power that he's creating. Essentially, like, he wants to create this power so that these completely unfair circumstances could never happen to anybody else, but instead he ends up creating something that goes way beyond that, and maybe even like this ideology gets taken to an extreme that he couldn't have seen coming, right? Because what's his name, Akamura, I think that's the name of the brother.
Yes.
Of the Akamura, he seems like somebody who genuinely believes what he's doing is right, just based off of the way that, you know, he was interacting and the way that he was talking. He's somebody who doesn't understand that he did something wrong. And that leads me to believe that, like, Kunishige chose this guy for this sword. He was chosen for this. So whatever ideology that Kunishige was like, whatever like conditions there were to be met to wield these swords, Akamura had that. He had what he was looking for, and he chose him. And I don't believe that Akamura is somebody who just turned to evil, like, and squandered it. He's somebody who genuinely believes in a cause, and the cause that he was chosen to fight for, and just took it to an absolute extreme. So I don't know. This is setting up like a really, really sad kind of backfiring for Kunishige in a way, where all he wanted to do was help and ended up causing even more destruction and pain than initially intended. So I don't know. This is a great chapter. It was a lot of reading and a lot of discussion, but I feel like some of these are very mandatory in a series like Kagurabachi. But those are my thoughts.
Yeah, I agree with a lot of what you said, Brian. I think it's really interesting. He makes the Shinichi first, right?
I think so.
Because that sword is the core of all the other swords. I'm wondering how much he actually like had a choice in the matter, really, you know? Like, he made the swords, but, you know, the swords can be compatible with anybody. So I'm wondering if that was even a choice on his part to give it to Akamura.
I was gonna wait to my thoughts to say something about this, but since you brought it up, I remember specifically in the case with the electric sword wielder, I don't think Rokuhira chose him. They said that they were running trials to see who could be compatible with the sword, and he just happened to be, the best one for that one.
Yeah.
So I don't think, I mean, maybe Rokuhira like chooses from, you know, the best ones and says, all right, you, but like there was like a process that was kind of, that seems to me like it was independent of you know, Rokuhira's judgment.
Yeah. It's also like Akamura probably wasn't always what he is today, you know? Something could have shifted in him. And if it turns out that Rokuhira chooses him, and because it would make sense, because that's his sister, you know? Who else would fight for her using the swords against all odds, you know? I think it would make sense for Rokuhira to recruit Akamura. So I'm not saying you're wrong at all, Brian. I'm just saying, like, I was just bringing up the question. But yeah, I thought this chapter was really cool. Just a lot of like the political intrigue of the world. Just like this is a world building chapter in a way, and just how things were being made. I like the idea that Kunishige is just gonna take matters into his own hands and just like do the thing. I feel like he starts with one sword, and then like after they see that it works, they start to like manufacture the others. My first thought before I remembered that like the Shinichi probably has to be first, I thought that he maybe makes Subaru's sword first.
Right, since he's
Because they're
right
so
there.
closely aligned.
Yeah.
But I think the Shinichi does have to come first. Because it's like the core of all the other swords, and the swords don't exist without the Shinichi. So yeah, I'm excited to see how this goes. Of all the chapters that are coming out this week, Kagurabachi is one of the few that's not on break. So
Nice.
Thank goodness.
at least I think so. Is that right? But yeah, I'm really excited about it. Kagurabachi is so damn good. I love how Kunishige really got active when they heard they were taking his girl away.
Yeah.
That's been his only motivation ever. It's just like, wait, what? They're taking my girl now? Shouts out to Shiba for being a great wingman. Coming through the ceiling
So
boards to
what's
get
their
letters.
plan? To have a 1-year-old fight?
So yeah, my idea, I don't think it's that. It sounds like that. I feel like it's worded not great, but I think they're probably going to use baby Hiyuki as like a conduit to summon the flame bone, because the flame bone
Yeah.
is like
That's gotta be it.
something that Hiyuki's has only ever used a small part of. So it's possible that like there's like an Amaterasu situation with the flame bone, and that it's like a big like Megazord being, because she mentioned that she only uses like the arm or like the hand of it up to this point. So I think there's like it's a bigger thing that they probably gonna just use because she is able to use it. They'll find a way to have her summon it as a baby and then try and control it while it's out. I don't know, because I don't know how the flame bone actually works. That's something we'll have to find out later. But yeah, I don't think I don't think they're literally gonna let an infant square up against the Mikaboshi prince. That would be crazy.
But that would be funny if it did.
It would be hilarious. I kind of want it to happen, but it would make no sense for the story. That's all I got. Josh, what did you think about the chapter?
Even though it wasn't the RGC, I really enjoyed this chapter and it was thought provoking. You guys said a lot of things that I kind of thought about too, but what I want to fixate on is, so I'll pose this question, right? Do you think that maybe Kunishige Rokuhira passes this like energy he has, right? Or let's say like this malice he has, like onto the Det and Seki, like when he creates the swords? Because look what he's motivated by, right? He's motivated by a sense of protection and I would say arguably vengeance. He has that same look on his face that Chihiro be having.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
And when I think about how the first part of the series ended with Chihiro resolving to create new swords, right? There was this whole build up about like, why did his father create that N10, which that's his sword, right? That's Chihiro's sword. Like what was the reason? He would say, I created it for you. But I think now I'm starting to see what he means by that. Like, he created these swords now for war. You know what I'm saying? And when he created the sword for Chihiro is with hope and love, that there could be a better future. I don't know, and it's just something that like this chapter kind of helped me like understand that. Like I think, especially with Brian like saying like, you know, I wonder like if Akamura like changed because, you know, obviously he got chosen. I First of all, again, like just to say, I'm not exactly sure if he got chosen, but I think if out of all the swords anybody got chosen, it probably was the Shinichi.
Yeah.
You know,
But didn't they pick Uruha?
They did pick Ura.
Like, wasn't that his whole thing? Is that he was
they picked
chosen?
him over Natsuki, I think his name is.
Yeah.
yeah, but I don't know if it was Kunishige though that made that choice.
Yeah.
And he went
No,
through a
it's true.
testing process.
Yeah, I would say that Kunishige probably didn't I'm sure he had like an influence, but I don't think he single-handedly picked anybody except for maybe the Shinichi. I could see him single-handedly picking Akamura because that's literally his brother-in-law in the future.
It's the progenitor. Like the Shinichi is the core that it's like a conduit for the other weapons in a way, right? Like it's so it makes sense that would be the first one, and also the first one that holds the core of all that power. He's putting all of that, you know, I guess negative, is that a way to think of it? Like, yeah, all this negative
I guess
energy.
so. You could say that.
He's motivated by, I don't know. Is it right to
It's
say
not
he's
necessarily,
motivated
you
by,
know,
like-
it's complicated because, you know, he's doing this
Yeah.
to prevent Chiaki from being
right.
in that situation.
But in his mind, is it truly, I need to make something to protect these people, or is it I need to create something to destroy these people that are trying?
It's probably
to,
a lot
like,
of things.
Right,
I can
so-
imagine it's probably not one single thing.
I think maybe it starts that way with the Shinichi, and as he creates the other swords, he starts to not feel as strongly in that way and starts to make them, and that's how they have different elements and all of that and different expressions. I mean, we'll see.
Yeah.
So just conjecture?
Yeah, I mean, you're right. Like, at the end of the day, whatever ends up happening to Akamura is a result of Kunishige's ideology behind creating the swords during this time period. Because we clearly see the shift in his thought process when he's making the swords with Chihiro at the beginning of the series, right? So whatever mindset he's in now is what causes them to spin out of control the way that they are to this day.
Yeah.
So whatever, like, we'll learn about it within the next couple of chapters, like what these swords meant to Kunishige when he made them at this time, and why he's so ashamed, or why he changed his mind when it came to how he made swords.
Yeah. Interesting stuff. Good shit. Kagurabachi, bro. So good. Any final rebuttals before we move on?
Nopers.
Negative.
Hell yeah, then let's go. Dandadan. And with that, I'm going to pass this one over to Brian.
All right. We pick up where we left off with the barber pulling up, and he's kind of walking over. What's the name of the fucking scissors guy?
I think, I think his name was the Black Barber. Was that right?
Yeah, we'll go with that. So Black Barber's like, who are you? And why are you in our territory?
This
State
second
your name."
page where he's like this, the angle they drew him in, the second page.
So he comes over, he's like talking shit. And then they immediately bring a hockey stick to his head, knock him to the ground, and they just start jumping his ass. And as they continue to fight, they move on from jumping him, and Seal Man is kneeing Okaruna in the
He's still
face,
getting
and
kneed.
yeah, the Black Barber's fighting Ira. The goons that were jumping the barber start tumbling past them, and as they turn around and look, fucking the barber's going crazy. Like easily probably one of the coolest fights in the series.
This 2-page spread is crazy.
Yeah, this 2-page spread of him flying in, kicking the seal-headed guy in the face, and also kicking the black barber at the same time, sending them flying backwards. He has a dynamic landing, but ends up slipping and sliding because of the floor is slippery. And he ends up sliding towards the black barber, who brings down his giant pair of scissors onto the barber, but it is blocked by a pair of like hair cutting scissors. So which the black barber then he kicks the bottom of his scissors to try to snap them shut, but the cool barber rolls out of the way and then does like a drop kick onto the black barber, sending him flying into a wall while doing a flip. And he goes, "You there, young lady, could you jab your hair into the ground? Your hairdo is quite nice," as he's like spinning on the ground, kicking these guys in the head.
He's holding himself up by his scissors. I want to make that very clear.
I did not notice that detail.
I need people to know that. He's doing a round table kick thing, supported by his 2 scissors.
And Ira finally asks who he is, and we finally get a name to this guy. His name is Yatagarasu. And he's been asked to help them by Kinta and Vamola, who he calls Portly-kun and Antenna-chan, who are both safe in his barbershop.
Portly.
So then he asks Ira again to stab her hair into the ground, which she misinterprets as drilling the ground to break it, thinking that it will like negate the slipperiness. And she does it. She turns her hair into a drill and destroys the ground. But the seal man continues to torpedo around, making the floor slippery. And in fact, now that the ground is broken, it makes it even harder for them to stand. To which he says, "Didn't I tell you to jab your hair into the ground?" And then she does it once again, creating like a little forest of hair on the ground as Yatagarasu, I forgot his name already. Yatagarasu. I'm just gonna call him Yatta.
Fair enough.
So Yatta slides into the hair forest and begins to cut it all up and creates fucking like Black Barber runs in and he's just like, "A great volume of hair actually makes the floor more slippery. If you're a barber, you should know that at least." And he immediately face plants into the ground.
He's lecturing a barber about that is nonsense.
He says, "What you should be doing is complimenting me. As a barber, I use my expert clipping technique to create an artificial turf firmly rooted in the ground that offers great traction." As he shorty-yukins the Black Barber.
Literally shoryuken. He says the word.
Legit shorty-yukins him, sending him flying because of the fucking artificial hair turf that he created. And that's where the chapter ends. Chris, what are your thoughts?
I both hate and love Dandadan. It is too much sometimes. Yatagarasu is so cool. This was a really cool showing from him. I'm so glad he's a good guy because that means Kinta is alive. So that's nice. He's very funny. I really like this guy. I looked up what the yokai Yatagarasu is. And the Yatagarasu is a legendary 3-legged crow in Japanese folklore.
It's like the Yu-Gi-Oh card.
Yeah. Often worshipped as a sun deity, messenger of the gods, and a divine guide. The name translates to 8-span crow. So, I don't know what this has to do with being a barber, but I'm here for it. I don't mind it at all. This guy's awesome. Yeah, I think Brian mentioned it before, but this is like one of the cooler fights in Dandadan. Just because it's cool to see like these dynamic type acrobatic fighters actually be drawn or sequenced well in terms of paneling. This is one of the better paneling works I've seen in a long time when it comes to manga. So super cool, very funny. I love this guy. And I really enjoyed this chapter, but that's what I got. Josh, what were your thoughts?
Oh, this is my RGC.
Certified RGC.
Yes, sir.
Certified RGC. Certified RGC.
Yeah. This was too wild of a chapter. I said wow too many times during reading this for this to not like be my favorite. And it was just absurd on the most amount of levels. Where to begin? The pose he pulls up with, right? The fact that they show him getting his ass beat. They started jumping through. I knew that wasn't it for him. I knew there was no way. I just didn't know that like he was gonna come back and start fighting. I thought it was gonna be that something would break out of his body or he would turn into like a creature like after like you being broken up. I didn't think he was just gonna get up and say like, nah, like yeah, niggas are soft. Give you the scissor work. And he out scissored. Yo, I mean the other guy, the black barber we call him, compensating for much, bro. Them big ass skizzers. Did anyone catch when I said we could call him Edward? Nobody?
Scissorhands?
Edward Scissorhands.
Yes.
Okay.
I said that earlier when we was like, what's his name? And I just, I needed to be acknowledged on
I
that
appreciate
one.
it. Yeah, I thought it was good. I didn't catch it. I didn't hear it. I maybe didn't hear it. I would have appreciated it more in the moment. That was my fault.
For that.
I understand that. Sometimes you make a good one and you just want everybody to know you did.
Yeah, it was. Thank you, Chris. That's what homies is for.
I'll always give you your flowers, my friend.
Yeah, thank you. Speaking of the homies, this the weirdo barber going up against the black barber was he just outclassed him as a fucking barber.
Yeah, beat the shit
Also,
out.
I like that he gave Ira a compliment. I think that's the first person he said that their hair is nice.
Yeah.
Let it be known that the weirdo barber pulled up, insulted every single one of the people from the opposing side, and then like whooped their ass and handled business. Can you guys think of an appropriate word to throw over that? Would do domination?
I would say ass whooping of the week.
Probably, yeah. Without a doubt. Nigga, you got shoryuken and drop kicked and embarrassed by another barber. You lose, bro. You lose.
You lost the barber
I don't ever want to
battle.
see the black barber again. He better not get up and be like, I actually have this other ability or this other help. Bye-bye. Gone. I don't even want to see what happens to your remains. Just lay there forever, please. Are you guys interested in more in what this guy has to
He could
offer?
go. He could go.
Right. I mean, let's talk about the weirdo barber though, right? The MVP of this shit. Bro calling plays, telling Ira to use her hand. He knew.
He watched tapes.
Who's Yatagarasu again? What the fuck? What did you say about him? He said,
He's
I
a
remember
three-legged crow.
He said he had 3 legs. And what's his?
He's a guide. The guide of the emperors. Yatagarasu is most famous for guiding Emperor Jimmu through the treacherous, unfamiliar Key Mountains. When Jimu's
He's
forces,
a point guard.
he was a point guard. He's a quarterback.
He was running the point, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Calling plays.
He was. And I really appreciate that, man, especially in this climate of NBA activity right now. Go Knicks.
Go Knicks. Makes it foul.
Brian, what were your thoughts?
The action in this chapter is absolutely fucking phenomenal. Like, he is absolutely one of my favorite characters to watch fight. Like, I feel like I haven't liked a fight since like a fight like this since the Umbrella Boy was introduced. Like, this is on that same level. It's actually so fucking unbelievably good. The art and the the art and the way that he draws, like, movement and dynamic poses and stuff. It's like this series feels like practice for him. You know what I mean? This feels like, okay, I'm just gonna do the most crazy fucking things that I could ever imagine and just make it into a story. You know what I mean? It's that's genuinely what it feels like. It feels like he's just having as much fun as humanly possible while drawing a series, and it works for him, man.
Yeah.
This 2-page spread is so fucking awesome, and it's such an unconventional kind of like way of doing things too, right? Like the angle of him as he's kicking and knocking these guys away. It's only something that can be done in Dandadan. You know what I mean? This is like, he's really like carved out like a unique spot for himself where he's just allowed to do whatever the fuck he wants, and it's awesome. I want him to keep doing that shit. Take whatever fucking breaks you need, because he'll like go on break for a few weeks for some reason. You're like, what the fuck is he doing? And then he comes out with shit like this, and you're just like, okay, man, yeah, go on more breaks, please, because goddamn, it is actually incredible what he does. What's this guy's name again?
Yatagarasu.
No, I'm talking about the author, Yukinobu Tatsu.
Yeah.
Tatsu, keep doing your fucking thing. You're incredible.
Go to gas.
Gas.
But that's it for me.
Hell yeah. Any rebuttals for Dandadan?
Nope.
Well, then that has been Dandadan, and that has been our show. Thank you guys so much for listening. As per usual, you could find me at the Chris Espinal on Twitter and Instagram. Josh is at JDCole_37 on Instagram. At New Jump City Josh on Twitter. Brian is at b.esp on Twitter and Instagram. Check him out where he's streaming. We're on twitch.tv/itspunchline. Email the show at newjumpcitypod@gmail.com for any questions, suggestions, anything you guys want us to talk about, and we'll talk about it on our pre-show chat show that we do. We recorded one this week as well, so very excited. Yeah, subscribe to the show, like, share, do all the engagement stuff that really helps with the algorithm, gets us in front of more eyes if you like and you share and you comment and all that stuff. But also subscribe. That would be very nice, and it gives me a little serotonin boost throughout the day if I see a new subscriber. All right, we will see you guys next week. Stay safe, New Jump citizens.
Peace out, y'all. Go Knicks.
Knicks in 4.
Chess time.
Bishops be sniping.